TV, but now it's time for Cynthia's styling. Hello.
Hi. That's great advice, by the way. I would do that as well.
Is it traditional in Canada to name?
It is.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but I know that a lot of people feel the same way as that woman, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us what's in store
Okay,
today.
first of all, I'd like to say you look very beautiful today. I've enjoyed watching you this whole show.
Thank you.
You wear that color very well.
Thank you, she chose it for me.
Today's segment, I was very inspired by an exhibition that I saw at Kensington Palace called Fashion Rules. And I'd just like to go through a few slides with you.
Okay, sure.
And show you some things on the rail. All right. Well, this first dress here is first of all, I should say that these are all clothes that either Princess Margaret, Her Majesty the Queen, or Princess Diana have worn. And this one here is actually what they would call a short day dress. And it's done by Dior. And you could tell by the collar and the cuffs and just the little details on there that it was from that era. Okay. The next slide. Okay, this was a coat that the Queen had worn, and this you can tell by the shape, the A-line shape, and the shortness of the hem that it was in the 1960s.
Right.
Now, I felt a little bit bad for the Queen when I read some of the or saw some of the garments. She wasn't able to follow fashion trends, right? So when 1960s came out with the mini skirt, I mean, she had to wear
that.
But that is still a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
And it's bright colors so that when she's outside, you can view her in the coach from far away. And if you notice, there was fur around
Right,
there.
okay. She still looks stylish, didn't she?
Always does, yes, fabulous. The next slide. Okay, this one here was from 1986, I believe, and it was what Princess Diana wore to an evening ball. And it's just beautiful. Look at that midnight blue color and that fishtail. They have the dropped hemline there. You can see, and they have that fishtail silhouette and then the sparkly star detail. And I mean, when you look at this garment, you can almost imagine her with her blonde hair and blue eyes and you know, just the ball that she would have worn.
She always looked beautiful anyway, didn't she?
Yeah, it's very inspiring. Next one. This is the exhibition here where it started, and I just want to point out that this would have been the start of the presentation, and you have these full-figured dresses that are very reminiscent of the 1950s. So we've just come out of this post-war period where there was that ration on clothing, and as soon as that was lifted, it's like designers went crazy, right? That full Dior skirt and that silhouette is just very prominent in the 50s. These are a couple dresses that the Queen would have worn on her royal tours throughout the different countries. I think there's a few left.
This speed up a bit though if we're going to get through the rail as well.
This is just pointing out that there's an app there, which I missed out on. So. She wore that dress to Canada, that one in the background there. I think we'll have one or two left. This one here was worn by Princess Margaret. It's also done by Dior when Marc Bohan was the creative director. He was creative director for Dior for 30 years. It's got a very military feel to it, if you see there. It's a double-breasted peacoat in military green with the gold buttons. And a very androgynous look. And
do we have one more?
Oh, we have two more, I think.
Oh, wow.
This one here was it would have been called risque. I don't think that's what they call a plunging neckline, but for back in the 1950s when Princess Margaret wore this to different balls and such film premieres, it was seen as more Hollywood glamour than it was royal family. So that's that. I think I have one more slide there. It would have been a red dress, I believe.
No, we don't have one.
No? Okay.
Let's go straight to the rail.
That's great. Okay, well, basically, I just put together a few pieces that were inspired by these decades, and I'm just going to show a few of them. When you talk about the 1960s, you can tell...
That's something my mum would have worn, that blue
Really?
one. Yeah.
These are all from my personal closet. I wear all of these. But they're very short skirts. You can see that A-line shape and the wild, bold colors and prints, very reminiscent of the 60s.
That's definitely come back round because I remember seeing pictures of my mum in similar
Like this? Yeah, I
dresses,
love looking at old photos like that. So your mum was in the 1960s?
Yeah, so she used to wear her mini skirts and her,
That's great. These two pieces as well, late 1960s, and again, that wild print and just, you know, you wouldn't really see something like that today. This one here, again, late 1960s.
I love that one, Cynthia.
Oh, I love the movement of this one here. And you can just see, again, the silhouette of it is that A-line shape, that mini skirt shape.
You didn't tell us about the one you're wearing.
Oh, this one actually is from the 1960s as well. And my shoes are actually the only thing in my closet that I could find that was from the 1950s. So I didn't really do the big full skirts.
Yeah.
I really love the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
As we move to the 1970s, the silhouette really changes. And we have this like ethnic influence in the garment. And these kind of like angel-shaped sleeves. And all this beautiful color. Would you wear that, Chrissy? Do
I
you
would
like that?
actually.
I really love this.
It's lovely. Especially
It's
for
got
this weather.
cultural references, and then it's also got that very bohemian feel. These two silhouettes here, my last pieces, are very 1970s.
Oh,
you can see
beautiful.
that again, the sleeve, you know, the color, the shape. We went back to a long hemline in the 1970s. Things are always
So
changing.
these are all wearable now in fashion, like
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, you know, the name of the exhibition was Fashion Rules, but there are no rules in fashion,
Okay.
isn't it?
So you can wear whatever you want, basically, as long as you
Absolutely.
love it. Cynthia, thank you so much. We have reached the end of the program.
Okay.
All right.